you doing, Manginas? Thank you, Toddler here, bringing you guys a commentary about looking back at your life. And I'll explain that in a little bit. It was from a dream. This is actually Hunted gameplay, and it turns out you can't get a chem in Hunted. I didn't know that, but you'll see here, I definitely get plenty of kills in a row to get a chem. I'm not going to spoil the final score, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, after this dream I had last night, and it really just sparked some interest, like, made me really think about it. And, this dream I have, like, I'll try to remember as much as I can. I remember quite a bit of details because it was right before I woke up, and that's usually when you remember dreams more often than not. And I remember being in the dream, and I saw my old basketball coach. I was at basketball practice, and we were doing some kind of volunteer work, which we've never done before, so I'm not sure how that worked out. But anyways, we're doing volunteer work, and I went home. And I got to thinking as I was going home, I'm like, I look different, I feel different. And then I find out it's 2008. It's senior year, August 2008. As in, like, 5 years ago, you know, and I'm in high school. It's my last year of high school and shit. And basically, I'm at my house, and I tell my parents, I'm like, alright, this is going to sound really crazy. You guys probably aren't going to believe me, but I am actually from the future. Like, I'm a future Ryan, and then somehow I just got teleported back into, like, 5 years back and stuff. And obviously they were skeptical, and I was thinking, like, how am I going to, like, explain, you know, they're like, alright, we'll prove it, like, what are you talking about, you know, you're being crazy. And I'm like, how am I going to fucking explain that, like, what am I going to say to make it so, like, they believe that I'm from the future? So I kept trying to think of things that happened that year. And the problem was, like, the only thing I could think of is sport moments and, like, a Super Bowl. Like, you don't remember what happened August 2008. You know what I mean? You don't remember exactly what happened. So I was going through thinking about that, so I was just trying to my best to explain it. Like, I remember one of the questions I asked him, like, has the Jersey Shore started yet? And I think the answer was no. Obviously, I didn't have able to look up Google or in there, you know, my dream. But anyways, I was like, well, you guys are going to get introduced to Snooki in not too long. And, like, the Snooki monster. Anyways, that was just, like, one funny moment I remember. But that's not really the point of the dream, is, like, how am I going to explain what happened? First of all, that's one question. How do you explain that, like, how would you explain that you're from the future? Like, what kind of cues or what do you remember from, like, August 2008 to prove that you are from there? And, like, I remember, like, thinking, like, man, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen they're going to go through. Like, my mom's going to lose her father. Her dad dies at one point, I think in 2010. Like, how am I going to tell her that? Like, or should I? You know what I mean? Because it's kind of weird to know when somebody's going to die. At the same time, there's a lot of stuff they're happy about, such as buying horses, and I knew they were about to get a few more horses, and I'm like, you know what, like, if I tell them, maybe they could pick a different horse. And it's just kind of one of those, like, critical thinking, like, do I, like, tell them this stuff, knowing that I could change, like, the future, you know? Or, you know, what do I do? And then I started thinking, like, my high school, my relationships, like, I was still had a thing with my ex-girlfriend, Ashley. Then I started dating another girl for 6 months that cheated on me the whole time. And I'm thinking, like, what would I change? Or would I change anything? Like, do I just go the same path that I did before? Or do I venture out and do something different and have a whole new life? You know what I mean? Do I start life over, essentially, 5 years ago and have a second chance? And, it's just something that I've never thought about before. Like, would you change your life? You know what I mean? Knowing that if you go back in the past 5 years, you even do, like, one thing different, like, you're going to change something from the future. Are you willing to do that? And the answer was, for me, yes, I was willing to do that. And I thought that was kind of a cool thing to think about. Like, I'm willing to give up stuff that's happened in this life to maybe even make better changes in my life, to be a better person and all that stuff. So I thought it was a pretty cool type of concept. And so I want to know about your guys' opinion. Like, what kind of changes would you make even just 5 years ago? Would you make any changes at all? Would you live life how you remember it? So you can keep like the same situations, the same people in your life, or what would you do? And because at that point I didn't know what college I was going to, so obviously at the time I remember being regretful that I didn't go to Iowa, University of Iowa, and I'm thinking, like, maybe I think I'd go to the same college. So I thought it was a cool concept. I don't know, it was just from a dream I had. Like, what I would do if I could go back 5 years and rewind my past. How would I explain that I'm from the future? But I remember it was a pretty cool dream. I didn't get very far. I never got to make a whole lot of changes. But my overall decision was I was not going to date the girl that cheated on me for 6 months. I was going to test the water somewhere else. You know what I mean? So let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was pretty decent gameplay considering it was on Hunted. I got lucky getting some LMGs, but stay hairy, Manginas.